would like to talk to you about a solution for resiliency and protein production within an urban setting. So in order to talk about this, I will first talk about the Value Bugs project, and then I will talk to you about a very new and interesting proposition from Graines d'Ortie Association, which can really stimulate us for further thought. So the Value Bugs project is a Co-Create Project 2017 that was financed by Innoviris that lasted 3 years. The goal of the Value Bugs project was to be able to train citizens to use an alternative composting technique with black soldier fly larvae in order to reduce our organic leftovers from our household kitchens in a very fast and efficient manner, but also enabling us to have our own protein production at home. So by reducing our leftovers from vegetal sources in order to respect the sanitary legislations that are applied here in Europe, each citizen is able to harvest the larvae that result from the process. And so this was a participatory action research project which took science out of the labs and was done in a co-creative manner between citizens in order to answer some very practical day-to-day preoccupations that many have. The project lasted 3 years and it explored many different facets, from growing the larvae to optimizing the composting technique, and also the reproduction of flies, but also the optimization of the networks that we would create among citizens. In order to do this, we were also designing research protocols together in order to gather data that we could use, etc. The project was really answering the preoccupations the citizens had. And this was really to answer the needs of people living in apartments, sometimes without a garden. And so we focused on that. There was not many people that were ready to research and design processes for a larger scale, which would be more a collective scale for neighborhoods. But we understood very quickly that for this technique to be sustainable and to have a future within Brussels, that's the kind of angle that we needed to focus on, to have a more collective, bigger scale, citizen-managed kind of a hub. We noticed that there was a lot of enthusiasm with this project, but somehow something was a bit missing for it to go to the next step. Now that the project is over, we're questioning a little bit, how can we harness the enthusiasm and all the momentum gathered with this project to really bring it one step further so that it could serve as a solution for certain resiliency issues within the city. And here comes in the association Graines d'Ortie, which is based in Mons. Now their approach is one step further. It focuses on collective hubs, but not only does it focus only on the black soldier fly larva process, but it focuses on creating hubs with many different production units working in symbiosis together. And the interesting thing is most of these different production processes involve the creation of protein. These hubs would be a scalable solution and would have a dozen production units that work in some symbiosis, and it would also include office space, multi-purpose space, cafe, and a store. It is a local production hub with a lot of training opportunities and creating the jobs of tomorrow. Now, Brussels is a city that is completely reliant on imports to satisfy its protein requirements, both for citizens but also for the different animals that have protein requirements within the city. And so how can we focus on a city that is resilient with its food production without focusing on the key issue of protein? And so here today, we would like to bring to the table maybe these open questions, because Graines d'Ortie is just at the start of this process of creating these hubs in Mons, and it would be very interesting to start opening the door to see how we could also start this process here in Brussels. And so there are, for the moment, several questions that are open. How do we call these protein hubs? Also, what would be the key human resources that we need to bring in the competencies that would enable this kind of system to be designed and replicated within Brussels or within any urban setting in a successful manner? And also, what would be the first steps in order to jumpstart a process like this in Brussels? Thank you.